Howdy, friends. Guthrie Trap here, your old buddy coming to you from East Nashville, Tennessee. Today, I thought we'd do something just a little bit different while I had a chance here. I'm literally jumping off here to get ready to go out on the Studio A boat. We were just out there for 4th of July weekend. It's always an amazing time to go out to Old Hickory Lake and just do the wild ride, man. It's a great sunset boat cruise, full moon tonight. And we're going to play some music. We got Jimmy Wallace, Mike Rennie, Nick Buddha, myself. Gibbons is coming out to celebrate our good buddy Clay Bradley's birthday. And so just going to be an awesome time. But I thought I'd share with you guys, as I was thinking about the whole thing with Gibbons, and just, we had lunch a couple days ago and just sat and held court for like 4 hours, which was just incredible. Had another friend of his show up, and a car guy here that we talked to for a long time and made friends with. And then when we got to the place, this Mexican joint here that's really good called Superica, we show up and there's hardly anybody there. It's like, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 maybe, and the place is pretty much empty. There's like 1 or 2 tables. We start chatting and ordering some food and drinks and stuff. And then by the time we left there, the place was packed, and bunch of people had come up and wanted photos with Billy, and this little kid came up. I think you saw the thumbnail in the other video. A little kid came up and he said, Mr. Gibbons, can I get your autograph and take a photo? And it was just so amazing. And as it always is with him, man, he's a one of a kind, as I've said before. And if you haven't ever met the guy, if you do, you'll never, ever, ever forget it. I have never met anybody quite like this guy on the planet. And like most of you guys, I've met a lot of people, and man, he's just a one of a kind. I've never seen anybody be so generous, so patient, so in the moment, and so beautifully eccentric, but also totally sharp and dialed in, more than anybody I've ever seen. It's just absolutely incredible. It's like, they really broke the mold when they made him, man. And so today, I'm getting ready. He's going to come by. We got a car service picking us up. I'm going to grab Billy, then come here, grab me, and then we're heading out to the lake. And we're going to throw up a couple guitars in there. Young Tom will be with us to help and all that stuff. So it's just, I'm living in some sort of a dream world here, and it's just been absolutely incredible, and it keeps getting better. And so, much in part to, you guys helping motivate and support and encourage me and my fellow guitar mates here in Nashville to keep going and keep doing it. We're on the right side of the tracks. We want to keep making music for you. We want to keep doing these amazing things. We think they're amazing. And so, but anyway, the story I wanted to tell you was, first of all, I met Gibbons here for the first time, years ago at Todd Sharp's amp shop. He came in and I was in there messing around, and he introduced himself, and we talked for a while, but we didn't exchange any contact information. And then it was years later that I was in New Orleans recovering from my first case of COVID at my buddy's guest house in uptown New Orleans, not far from the Maple Leaf, the famous Maple Leaf bar. And so luckily I had this nice guest house in the backyard, and I just was like quarantined back there for like 9 days, right? It kicked my ass. It was definitely the worst flu that I'd ever had. I mean, it was an ass kicker. And so, didn't do any emails, wasn't doing any tel connect. I was just doing text messages to my mom and dad, basically letting her know that I was okay. And so I was chilling out. I was playing some guitar, watching a lot of Netflix shit, and just, recovering. So I get back to Nashville. I realized, dude, you've been off emails for 2 weeks. I didn't have Ashley helping me back then. And so I was like, okay, I got to start going through all these emails. I'm finally feeling better. I went up the street to the Ugly Mugs coffee shop, where I go to almost every day, where we run into, Jack Roosh and Robin Ford used to come in there every day when he was living in the neighborhood, David Greer, Ollie Freed. We see all these amazing musicians and stuff at the coffee shop. Another bonus of living in Nashville, Tennessee. So I go up there, I'm going through all the emails, and I'm deleting and whatever, and I get all the way down, and I'm seeing this email pops up, and it says Billy Gibbons, and I go, huh, interesting. I was like, I must have ended up on his, mailing list by accident somehow or something. I said, I don't know Billy and I'm not connected really in any way. And I almost just deleted it or scrolled through it or something. But I didn't. I stopped. I said, maybe I should open this. So I opened the email, and it's from, Billy's team and this guy, Martine, that he works with in LA doing some movie stuff. And it said, hey, Billy wants to invite you to be a special guest on his Lifetime Achieve Award ceremony at the Opry House in Nashville, excuse me. And so I went, wow, unbelievable. Yes, I want to do it. And B, how long ago did you send this email? It was like 5 days ago. So I went, shit, man, I hope my moment hadn't passed. I hope my window of opportunity has not been shut on me. So immediately I texted, emailed, and called all the numbers to make sure that I was like connecting. And so sure as shit, 20 minutes later, I get a phone call and had a great conversation with Martine. That was a Friday. We set up a phone call with Billy on Sunday. I'll never forget, I was right down the hall here and I had just gotten out of the shower. I'm completely naked, standing there, and the fucking phone rings, of course. And I go, oh my God, here's the first time I'm ever going to talk to Billy Gibbons. He doesn't know I'm completely butt-ass naked on the other end of the phone. So I threw a towel around me and got on this phone call. More information than you need, by the way, but that's part of it. And so I was like, man, this is going to be amazing. Can't wait to talk to Billy. He was just as cool as shit. And he goes, hey, I got this idea. He said, what I want to do is, I'm thinking, well, I'll go out there and play with the house band. It's Fred Eltringham, Audrey Freed, a bunch of guys I knew. I was like, this will be awesome. And the guests are like everybody from Travis Tritt and Brad Paisley to, Lucinda Williams and Jimmy Vaughn, and like the list goes on, like Eric Church, and like the star-studded event. And Billy goes, man, I got an idea. And so I'm thinking I'm going to come out there with the band and play like a couple solos on some songs, LaGrange or something. And Billy goes, no, man. He goes, this is what I want to do with you. He goes, I want you to do that chicken picking thing that you do on the Telecaster. He was watching a bunch of YouTube stuff. And he goes, man, I want you to do what you do. He goes, I'm going to play the snare drum, and you're going to play the Telecaster, and we're just going to do a 90-second improv train beat. And I went, wow, no shit. I was like, okay. I said, hey, I'm the perfect man for that, because I love doing stuff off the cuff, and I don't really get too freaked out about it. And so I went, perfect. I said, Billy, I said, man, you think we should get like an upright bass player just to play through some blues changes, rockabilly blues changes? And he goes, oh no, man. He goes, just me and you, drums, snare drum, and Telecaster. I went, you got it, man. Let's roll. And so that's what we did, and it was awesome. Got to be good friends with Jimmy Vaughn that day, and he was hanging out with my mom and dad in the dressing room, and me, and playing music into my ear with the phone, and just, hung with him. His dressing room was over here, and mine was right across the hall. And so we hung out all day, every day, or all day that day. And then fast forward to becoming fast friends with Billy. And we started having lunch and hanging more, and he'd come to the Monday night gigs, and we just started this friendship, and that turned into talking on the phone almost every day, texting, emailing. He would, still sends, tons of stuff. I get everything from, awesome postcards to pedals and all kinds of stuff. The guy's just amazing. So great friendship, right? So then last year, he had come to the Underdog and had filmed some of the playing that we were doing up there. And Jeff Beck and ZZ Top were doing a show down at the new amphitheater in Franklin. I call it the Redneck Red Rocks, because it's an old quarry that they shine lights up on, and it's a beautiful. We just saw Willie Nelson and Bob Dylan down there not too long ago, and it's a killer venue. And so ZZ Top and Jeff Beck are going down there to play. So Billy's like, hey man, you got to come down. So he gets me and Clay, and we got the whole crew. There's like 4 or 5 of us, and we go down to Franklin, out to the quarry, the amphitheater. We go all the way up. It's a long drive to get out there. We go all the way into the back. We get our laminates. We get our backstage passes. We get the whole thing. We're all backstage, all access for this one, so we could go wherever we wanted. So we're, texting Billy, hey, we're back here, and he's like, you wind your way through the buses and the trucks, and we get to the backstage, and it's huge, and we're wandering through there trying to figure out where they are. there's all this gear back there and everything, as you can imagine, for Jeff Beck and ZZ Top, quite a couple big productions. And so we get back there and finally run into Billy, and he's like, all right, come on, man, let's go get something cold to drink. And we go through that and do all that. We get drinks and stuff like that. And then we're coming back and we're walking down the hallway. And at that point, Billy was like, hey man, I gotta go take care of something. And he goes, we'll meet you on the other side. And I went, okay, great. So we're walking down the hallway, and this big giant guy, he goes, hey man, you're Guthrie Trapp, right? I go, yeah. I'm thinking, what did I do now? I'm in trouble. They're gonna kick me out. Classic. I'm in trouble already. What did I do? Classic GT. First person to get in trouble and get kicked out. So he goes, hey man, you're Guthrie Trapp, right? I go, yeah man. He kind of grabbed me by the shoulder and pulls me into this doorway right there. And I get in the doorway, the door shuts behind me, and I look, and I'm standing right in front of, here's Billy and here's Jeff, and they're just laughing. And Billy goes, yeah, man. And Jeff goes, I went, oh my God. And Jeff goes, oh yeah, man. So you're that guy that Billy's been telling me about. And Billy had the video of the Underdog, and he starts playing it. He goes, yeah, I've been showing Jeff this at the rehearsals and all this stuff. And I go, you guys have got to be kidding me. And I just was like floored. I'm like, what do I say to these guys? I'm like, man, I said, Billy, thank you so much, man. And I'd met Jeff one time briefly backstage at a Send Amphitheater, but it was just a real quick thing. I was there with the J-Rocket pedal guys, and I just, I had said hi to Jeff, and that was about it. Real quick, talked a little bit, and we were having some drinks. He liked to drink champagne, and so that happened. So, just an amazing introduction from Billy to Jeff Beck, and I got to hang with him and have a special moment, before he had departed, right? And before he left us. And so it was not very long before his passing. I was driving to West Nashville. I'll never forget this. I was driving to West Nashville. It's like 9:30 in the morning. The phone rings. It's Gibbons. Of course, I answer it. And Billy goes, hey, man. He goes, I'll never forget this. And I'm not dropping names, but this is the kind of shit that happens. He goes, man, I just got off the phone with Eric Clapton. And he said, he told me that Jeff Beck is in the hospital and he's not doing good. And I went, no, man, no. And so I said, dude, what is it? What happened? He goes, they think it's spinal meningitis. And I go, oh my God, man. So it happened like that. And then, man, it wasn't but a couple more days, I think, after that, and he was gone. And man, it just hit me like a ton of bricks. That phone call was it was unbelievable. And so just crazy how all this stuff works out, all those memories that are recent. I mean, this is just in the past couple of years, and then a year. And then today, just another normal Thursday in Nashville, where we're going to do the Sunset Moonrise Cruise on beautiful Old Hickory Lake. And Billy's coming over in the car service to pick us up. We'll go out to the boat. We'll set up, play some songs, have a couple cocktails, eat some great food, hang out with some characters that we know are going to be there. Gary Pachoza, a great engineer and producer here, runs Rounder Records, produced all the Sierra Farrell and Sarah Jarosz and all these amazing artists with great players on their records. Jed Hughes, Jerry Douglas, what's that guy's name that played the great fiddle solo on her song? Oh God, I can't remember the song. Don't Let Your Deal Go Down. Pull that up in here. Billy Contreras played the fiddle solo on that song. Mind blowing. But anyway, just another day in Nashville. I wanted to share those little couple stories with you guys. Thanks for supporting the new song. Thanks for the support in everything that we do. There's more to come. We're having some great meetings about some projects coming up with the Guitar Party, the big workshop that I'll be telling you about at some point, and then the Scotland thing for next year. We're already planning that. I'm working with the guys on an elevated level. Artistic advisor, I think, is my new term for that, which is awesome. And man, I just, I told somebody a couple of days ago, I said, look, I don't know what's going on, but I said, we're at the point now where I'm definitely not doing anything that I don't want to do. All of our energy is going into things that are going to, move the needle, as they say. It used to be the next level. Now it's move the needle. And so we're doing things that are going to move the needle, that are going to make money, but that are real. We're not selling bullshit. The education stuff is coming from right here. The music is coming from right here. And then if we can make a living doing it, and that creates more freedom for us to work on those projects and not have to play shitty music with shitty people in shitty locations, then we are golden, man. And that's what we want to keep doing. So thanks for allowing us to do that. We're just getting started here at 46 years old. And if I can just keep my hands together, I'll be in good shape. But it's not slowing me down too much yet, friends. Thanks a bunch. We'll see you soon. All right, I'm off to the lake. Cheers.